This just goes to show all the problems a snout-nosed fetus-looking, two-bit dictator like Kim Jong-un can accomplish just by the mere fact of his rhetoric and threats. The government of Hawaii scared the bejesus out of its citizens this morning by sending out a text message to all cell phone users just after 8 a.m. local time. The messages alerted them to an incoming ballistic missile. The alert was reportedly repeated on television broadcasts and radio. The U.S. government and the CIA. Amidst reports that North Korea now has nuclear-equipped ballistic missiles, as experts warn a conflict on the Korean peninsula is more likely than not, it's important to remember who armed North Korea with nuclear weapons in the first place, namely the U.S. government and the CIA. Image, YouTube. A portion of a Defense Intelligence Agency report revealed yesterday by Representative Doug Lamborn of Colorado states the DIA is moderately confident that the North currently has nuclear weapons capable of delivery by ballistic missiles. Although subsequently denied by White House and Pentagon officials, the revelation arrives amidst continued threats and posturing by the Hermit Kingdom to launch attacks against the United States and South Korea. However, while bellicose threats are being carelessly traded by both sides and eagerly regurgitated by the mainstream media, the question of how exactly North Korea acquired its nuclear capability in the first place has been completely ignored. Both the Clinton and Bush administrations played a key role in helping the late Kim Jong-il develop North Korea's nuclear prowess from the mid-1990s onwards. Former Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld presided over a $200 million contract to deliver equipment and services to build 2 light water reactor stations in North Korea in January 2001. He was an executive director of ABB, Azia Brown Boveri. Wolfram Eberhardt, a spokesman for ABB, confirmed that Rumsfeld was at nearly all the board meetings during his involvement with the company. Rumsfeld was merely picking up the baton from the Clinton administration, who in 1994 agreed to replace North Korea's domestically built nuclear reactors with light water nuclear reactors. Clinton policy wonks claimed that light water reactors couldn't be used to make bombs. Not so according to Henry Sokolsky, head of the Non-Proliferation Policy Education Center in Washington, who stated, LWRs could be used to produce dozens of bombs worth of weapons-grade plutonium in both North Korea and Iran. This is true of all LWRs, a depressing fact U.S. policymakers have managed to block out. These reactors are like all reactors, they have the potential to make weapons. So you might end up supplying the worst nuclear violator with the means to acquire the very weapons we're trying to prevent it acquiring, said Sokolsky. The U.S. State Department claimed that the light water reactors could not be used to produce bomb-grade material, and yet in 2002 urged Russia to end its nuclear cooperation with Iran for the reason that it didn't want Iran armed with weapons of mass destruction. At the time, Russia was building light water reactors in Iran. According to the State Department, light water reactors in Iran can produce nuclear material, but somehow the same rule doesn't apply in North Korea. In April 2002, the Bush administration announced that it would release $95 million of American taxpayers' dollars to begin construction of the harmless light water reactors in North Korea. Bush argued that arming the megalomaniac dictator Kim Jong-il with the potential to produce 100 nukes a year was vital to the national security interests of the United States. Bush released even more money for the same purpose in January 2003. Bush released the funds despite the startling revelation, reported by South Korean newspapers, that a North Korean missile warhead had been found in Alaska. Construction of the reactors was eventually suspended, but North Korea had an alternative source through which they could obtain the nuclear secrets vital to building an atom bomb arsenal, CIA asset and international arms smuggler Khan. In 2004, Dr. Abdul Qadir Khan, the father of Pakistan's atom bomb program, admitted sharing nuclear technology via a worldwide smuggling network that included facilities in Malaysia which manufactured key parts for centrifuges. Khan's collaborator BSA Tahir ran a front company out of Dubai that shipped centrifuge components to North Korea. Despite Dutch authorities being deeply suspicious of Khan's activities as far back as 1975, the CIA prevented the Dutch from arresting him on 2 separate occasions. The man was followed for almost 10 years and obviously he was a serious problem. But again, I was told that the secret services could handle it more effectively, former Dutch Prime Minister Ruud Lubbers said. The Hague did not have the final say in the matter. Washington did. Lubbers stated that Khan was allowed to slip in and out of the Netherlands with the blessing of the CIA, eventually allowing him to become the primary salesman of an extensive international network for the proliferation of nuclear technology and know-how, according to George W. Bush himself, and sell nuclear secrets that allowed North Korea to build nuclear bombs. Lubbers suspects that Washington allowed Khan's activities because Pakistan was a key ally in the fight against the Soviets, reports CFP. At the time, the U.S. government funded and armed mujahideen such as Osama bin Laden. They were trained by Pakistani intelligence to fight Soviet troops in Afghanistan. Anwar Iqbal, Washington correspondent for the Pakistani newspaper Dawn, told ISN Security Watch that Lubbers' assertions may be correct. This was part of a long-term foolish strategy. The U.S. knew Pakistan was developing nuclear weapons but couldn't care less because it was not going to be used against them. It was a deterrent against India and possibly the Soviets. In September 2005 it emerged that the Amsterdam court which sentenced Khan to 4 years imprisonment in 1983 had lost the legal files pertaining to the case. The court's vice president, Judge Anita Leeser, accused the CIA of stealing the files. "Something is not right, we just don't lose things like that," she told Dutch news show Nova. "I find it bewildering that people lose files with a political goal, especially if it is on request of the CIA. It is unheard of." In 2005, Pakistani President Pervez Musharraf acknowledged that Khan had providing centrifuges and their designs to North Korea. Through their policies in aiding North Korea to build light water reactors, and via the CIA asset at Khan who was protected at every step of the way while he helped provide North Korea with the means to build a nuclear arsenal, the U.S. government itself was directly complicit in providing North Korean dictator Kim Jong-il and now his successor Kim Jong-un with the nuclear weapons that have now caused an international crisis with the Korean peninsula on the brink of war. Given the documented history of the United States' role in arming North Korea with the very weapons the reclusive state is now threatening to use against Americans, the constant drumbeat of fearmongering by the U.S. media about North Korea's intentions is missing a huge part of the story. Well, folks, this is what happens when you have over 3 decades of appeasement. President Clinton thought it was a great idea to give these savages $2 billion and 2 nuclear reactors. Both Bush thought it was a great idea to just ignore or kick the can down the road, and Barack Hussein Obama thought it wise to just apologize for our nation's sins in hopes the world will love us because he was now the president. None of these things worked. And to think the stupid American populace almost elected another Clinton to the White House. Crooked Hillary would have probably given Kim Jong-un the long-range nuclear missiles herself for a small contribution to the Clinton Foundation. This time the text was a mistake, but someday it won't if we don't take care of this threat once and for all. Please share if you agree we need to take care of the dictator in North Korea.